Papa John's. Right now, all day, any day, you can enjoy any large pizza with up to 7, including our specialty pizzas for only $12, or 2 large pizzas for What's better than a Papa John's pizza? How about free Papa John's pizza? That's right. You can earn free
a whole country that wants to have sex with you.
Papa rewards.
Hi, thanks for calling Papa John's. How may I help you?
Yeah, can I get a number 7? Do you have number 7s?
What's the number 7?
Like a Big Mac? It's like a Big Mac.
Hello?
Like a Big Mac?
We don't have a Big Mac.
I thought you had a Big Mac. And fries?
No.
Oh, man. Well, you have, like, Frosties, right?
We have 8-piece wings.
That's... No, I'm not... I want a burger. I don't want chicken. I don't want any nuggets. I want a burger.
Well, we don't have burgers.
Oh, man. Do you know where I can get a burger?
I think you can go to McDonald's.
Do they deliver?
If you do, like, Uber Eats, probably.
What if I called McDonald's and could you guys pick it up for me and bring it here?
Probably not.
Oh, I'm bedridden right now. I can't really get out of bed, so I can't go to McDonald's. So I was just looking, to get some burgers.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you, though. You sound really nice.
Hey,
Could I get your number?
I don't even know you.
Oh, well, I like burgers. Do you like burgers?
Not really, honestly.
Oh, I thought we had something in common. Do you like pizza?
Yeah?
Well, I love pizza. That's something we have in common. That's our common ground. We could kick off a relationship on that. What's your name? That's pretty. My name's Bob.
Bob?
Mm-hmm. Robert. If you prefer, it's more dignified. Robert.
Okay.
So what time do you get off tonight?
10?
10? You want to go get some burgers at 10?
Not really.
No? Oh. Well, I tried. You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
How did you not laugh? Holy fuck!
Because he's an actor.
Oh my god.
That went a lot better than I thought it would.
That was so fucking good, dude. You're fucking prank call master.
I cannot give a shit.
Shit, what's this podcast cost?
Discourse of human events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look years younger, baby. I wanna look.
Tony, are you now a better man because you know who Honey Boo Boo is?
Fuck you.
Sorry we ruined your life with that.
I'm not. I'm glad he saw I'm glad you feel the same pain I felt. Do you feel a little dumber after watching that?
I wish if I could find words, I kind of.
It's like the Billy Madison thing. It was like, no. In fact, everyone here now is dumber because you said that. Like a simple no would have done. It's about how I feel after watching Honey Boo Boo. Ever.
Disgusting.
He says as he shoves hash browns down his throat. You're supposed to breathe.
Tony's a professional eater. And by the way, the first person on the podcast to podcast without a shirt. He's doing the Bert Kreischer style.
Did you see him at the Funny Bone?
No! Oh, I wish
Me
I
and my
did.
friends saw him at the Funny Bone.
Really? Was it great?
You need to see him.
Yeah.
It's,
I almost got tickets, but
Yeah.
I couldn't go when he was there.
I mean, he did the machine story, as always. And he even said it in his stand-up, like, I've only not done it once in the past, 5 years, and after that show, they were like, there's a crowd of people who want to hear the Machine story.
Really?
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, though.
I imagine. I just watched the YouTube video where he, like, brought a dude and his girlfriend up on stage and, like, had this whole, like, boyfriend take off your shirt and, like, put a blindfold over the girlfriend and, like, you're going to feel our chest and see if you can tell who is who. And when he did it, the boyfriend, like, pulled out a ring and, like, proposed to her as she, like, took off the blindfold. I was like, that's awesome.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah, one thing he's starting to do, that he also did at the show, was he asked the audience for money. Wow, that sounded bad off the bat. But, he'll ask...
he brought out a charity plate. Please, can you guys give me money? But Chrysler's in a bad spot.
Yeah.
It's because he's fat.
I need money for food and drugs. But, so he'll ask for money from the audience, like people just come up and donate, and then he'll put that money in like a bin, and then anybody who's working at the comedy club he's at, he'll have them put their names in a bin and draw a name and give whoever that money. And we went to the funny.
What? That's awesome.
The person who won got like $800 or something like that.
That is cool. I feel like they should do a vote though of like who was the best out of the like.
Yeah, because we draw the name of like the laziest person.
Yeah, like that guy fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Like, they'll give the money to him or her.
So, who's Bert Kreischer?
He's a comedian who always does a stand-up with a shirt off.
Oh.
He's a super hardcore partier.
I gotta show you something.
Do you know the movie Van Wilder?
Sorta.
It's about like a guy who stays in college and parties all the time.
Yeah.
The movie's actually loosely based on his life.
Oh.
He got like a Discovery Channel deal where he just went around the world basically partying.
Hurt Bert.
Is that what it's called? I've never actually seen it. I've only heard him talk about it.
He had a TV show called Hurt Bert where he would just do random things.
Have you actually seen it? I've never.
No, I've heard him talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's like he would wrestle a bear. He did. Like just anything.
He'd just travel the world and do ridiculous things.
Yeah.
And get paid for it. I would love to do that.
For it.
It's kind of like a Jackass, but more party style.
Yeah, honestly.
That's more alcohol involved, if that's possible.
I gotta show you those.
So I do want to talk about some Muay Thai and stuff. So how did you get into Muay Thai? Because I know how Tony got into Muay Thai.
You do?
I remember talking to you about it a long time ago. When I first started. Well, let's hear your story. How did you?
I don't fully remember. You're gonna have to talk about yours too, because I don't fully remember what made you start. But
by the way, we do have special guest Alex. He's new from Muay Thai class, and Tony again, the returning Tony. So how did you get
He's
started?
not seem happy about that. The look on his face is, how did I get back here?
What have I done wrong in my life?
Yeah,
you really shouldn't associate yourself with this podcast.
You should.
I guarantee you.
Hide from the world.
Or at least on the FBI watch list.
I didn't qualify as a special guest either, but whatever. Go ahead.
You're going to change your name.
Talk. Just start talking.
Well, you were a special guest the first time you're on. Now you're just a returning guest.
You're not so special.
I'll be on.
Now you're slow peon. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, I started Muay Thai a couple weeks before my freshman year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But
what motivated you to actually go and call Tony?
I got sick of getting picked on. I got bullied a lot, and I was so nervous to go into high school.
Okay.
I was like middle school. I feel like I'm getting picked on. I don't have much self-confidence. I wasn't doing anything. The only thing I was doing was just hanging out with one of my friends who was into Jiu Jitsu at the time, and one of my other friends was also into martial arts. He didn't train in anything but loved martial arts movies, and I think he would just like watch YouTube videos off of like how to do.
Did you even watch UFC or anything before you started? Really?
No, the only kind of idea of martial arts I had before that was I remember in like elementary school I'm driving with my mom, and she's like, well, I want you to get into like something else, but if we did Taekwondo, and I was like, no, absolutely not, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think the reason was because I was so scared of like the pain. Mm-hmm. I didn't want it to hurt. I didn't want to do anything that would hurt. But so a couple weeks before high school started, I was like just so nervous, and I was like, I got to do something to feel better about defending myself. And I met this guy named Nate, who was my sister's friend at the time, and he had a friend who was training at Ohio Muay Thai Academy.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he told me about it because I was talking to him, and I was like, look, I'm nervous about high school. Like,
Yeah.
He was already a freshman or something like that, so I was like just talking about it. He's like, oh, well...
You said this was, so what, this was around 8th grade?
Yeah. So this is a couple weeks...
Man, I wish I started Muay Thai that early. Damn!
So
right.
I mean, I was like, all right, I was nervous to go in. I vaguely remember going in. I remember, like, I didn't say much. Tony was talking to my mom more than me. Well, he was talking to me just as much. My mom was responding more than me.
Yeah, because you were nervous going in there, which of course
absolutely.
I was the same way, and I was like 29 when I went in. I was the same way though.
So I was like, all right, this is something I want to try. One of the things that also sold me was Nate was telling me that they're not very judgmental, like, of you there.
Yeah.
It's everyone kind of understands you're doing something that they had struggled with at first. Like, they understand that they're not better than you and all that stuff. So I went in. I think that it was either that day or I came in the next day and worked the bag a little bit. It was like my free class.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I want to.
Tony does that a lot with new people.
Absolutely.
He'll show them a couple of drills and then work the bag for a while.
Anybody who comes in, I know, gets like a free first class introduction class.
Yeah.
So usually people kind of come in after that, but it's usually after a month where they kind of leave.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I decided to do that, and I stuck with it. The first couple months I was sticking with it just because I was like, all right, I'm going to stick with it. But I stayed because of the relationship I made with the people, the community that was there. And I realized, oh, hey, this is something I'm getting really good at. I didn't do any school sports. I didn't care about any of that stuff. I was huge into music and, like, still am.
Yeah.
So Muay Thai was really the only thing that I had outside.
I got you. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm awesome. I'm just going to stick with this. And I'm so glad I did.
How old was the school? Couldn't have been too old by then, right? Because how old are you now? So
I'm 21 now.
So how long ago was that? Like,
about 8-9 years.
Shit, man.
So 9 years? 8 or 9? No, probably 8. Because I was about 13. I started.
That's why he whips our butt every time we go in the ring.
Dude, I feel so rusty because I don't go as much as I used to, unfortunately. Yeah. But, like, I mean, I remember talking to Tony about that in high school.
Since you started at that age, you've almost built, like, reflexes into your body, like natural movements that I know I would never actually build into my body since I started at 29. Like,
oh yeah,
your body has grown into Muay Thai.
Yeah, that's definitely the benefit of doing it in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of actually being able to teach your body to react in certain ways. And like teaching it the motion of how to correctly throw a punch. Like, whereas a lot of people who come in and first start and don't know how to throw a punch, they literally just throw it with their arms.
Oh my god, that was one of the biggest things where, like, Tony was like, throw a punch, and I looked at him like, I don't know how to throw a punch, and he's like, just throw a punch. I'm like, okay. Like, I was so nervous, just like you. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, Tony. Like, I literally had zero martial arts background. Like, you know what I know from martial arts? Watching, like, Steven Seagal or fucking Van Damme movies. Like, I don't know anything about martial arts.
There's a scene right there.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's like watching Steven Seagal, I'm just like shaking my head like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, oh my god. Wasn't he a cop for a little while?
Yeah! An overweight cop at that. Oh my god.
That show was hilarious. Steve Seagal's after you, just go for a light jog, you won't catch him. But, yeah, I mean, your body, once you do it so many times, your body just reacts to it. What's the Bruce Lee quote? It's like, I fear not the man who knows 1,000 kicks, but the man who practices one kick 1,000
times. Yeah.
It's yeah. So that's
so true.
I learned, is like
repetition.
Yeah, and it's not. It's
But that's what I'm saying. Your movement's always going to be more fluid just from having started so early.
Yeah, thank God I started early. Yeah. And like we were talking about earlier, there's still a part of me that's like, man, I wish I would have started this when I was like in an elementary school. I was in a kids class, and I'm like, man, I wish I started.
Oh man, we have a couple people in jiu-jitsu class that started when they were like 5 and are like older now. And it's just like,
ridiculous.
Oh my god, I wish.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the good news is we all at least started at some age. That's the good news.
I mean,
and that's what I would say to everybody listening is, no matter how old you are, you can start. I mean, we have people starting way older than
one day
30.
to day one. That kind of mindset.
Exactly.
You just gotta walk in, because no matter what, like your first couple classes, your first couple months there, you're gonna be learning some weird movements that you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right. But then you're gonna like be at that year mark, and some new guy's gonna come in.
Yep.
And you're gonna look at him, and you're gonna be like, oh, wow, I actually didn't make an improvement. Whether or not it's much of an improvement, and there's always something you need to work on.
That was always interesting. Like, one of the first times I taught somebody who came in new, like, I actually trained with them, and I was showing them how to block a kick, and Tony's like, that's advanced. I'm like, oh. Like, I was thinking in my head, like, oh, wow. Like, I've actually, like, this has come kind of natural to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't realize that was an advanced movement, like, not thinking about it.
Absolutely.
So how did you get into it, Tony?
Oh man, I was troubled. You know, I was on the streets of Dublin.
People constantly try and rob you and jump you at night.
Working at Nationwide, sitting on that chair, getting them nice little sores, getting that blood flowing elsewhere. So you know, I called Tony one day, like. At that point, I was an MMA fan.
Okay, so it was like more of a UFC thing. Like,
I would like to emphasize that I don't watch that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Well, how come? We've talked about this, but how come you don't like UFC anymore? Because I can kind of see where people will drop out, but I'm wondering why you.
I don't know. It's just the entertainment value just dropped for me. I watch more genuine things like pro wrestling.
No, I agree with him on that. About the first year I started Muay Thai, like I got huge into UFC. Like I loved watching George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, Dan Henderson. So I loved watching those guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like towards the.
It's still huge for me right now.
It's just
I enjoy it.
Here's the thing. It's this big ass company, big ass industries. Fighters still get paid shit. So
that's. Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it knowing that.
That's why I feel like what's their competitor, Bellator? I feel like they're going to become the one everybody's going to go towards, because UFC is becoming. Everybody's trying to be Conor McGregor and entertain rather than just be good fighters. So they're putting entertainment cards up a lot of times rather than good fight cards.
Doesn't Bellator have like a different kind of fight system?
I think so. They have different rules. I've never watched Bellator.
They have tournaments every now and then. It's pretty much the same, but let's be fair. That's just MMA in general. Just that shit.
I still think they should bring back like soccer kicks, knees to the head, no matter where you're at.
Jeez, Zach, just go to Japan already.
Yeah.
They do that in Japan.
But
you can still knee in the head.
But that's the problem when you stack way too many rules on, and then it becomes not a real fight anymore. Like, the more rules you add, the less it resembles a real fight.
Yeah, kind of like what Josh Barnett was saying about Mayweather and McGregor.
Yeah.
It's like McGregor's a better fighter because there's not so many rules. Like, the real question is, like, how long would Mayweather last in an octagon with...
That'd basically be how long does McGregor want it to last?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
That's basically what that comes down to.
I mean, I'm not sure who's going to win the boxing match, but...
but the thing is, it's not as obvious who will win. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's like a 90% chance Mayweather is probably going to win, but...
It would have just been James Toney and Randy Couture again. He just ankle pick him.
Oh my god, yeah. I was surprised he didn't like toy with him in that fight. He didn't.
Who was it?
James Toney.
I don't know. I know. I've seen those clips.
His whole thing is that, he's like extremely good. He's like way better. He's like Roy Jones and Mayweather.
Okay.
He's a really good defensive boxer. He used to be about.
And then he went into MMA.
No, he didn't go to MMA.
Just the one fight.
Just the one.
He needed money.
Gotcha.
He had he started at about 160 pounds or something like that. He eventually became a heavyweight because he was kind of lazy. But
it's almost like what was the wrestler that went into UFC just recently? He had one fight.
CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk. Did you watch that one?
Well, CM Punk.
I saw the highlights of it,
Yeah.
but
That one was like a minute
CM
long.
Punk's thing was it was a bucket list thing for him.
Yeah.
really,
I hope it's a bucket list thing for him because he has no business being in there.
Yeah, exactly.
If he really wants to do it, he needs to go to a lower promotion and work his way up.
absolutely. Going into the UFC is a big jump, man.
Yeah, that's
back to
crazy.
Back to that James Sonny thing. If you want to be entertained, watch his highlights. He's extremely.
I think I did
But
see
then
that.
but
I
then
remember hearing about that.
He called out. UFC. He's like, oh, I want to do a fight. I want to do a fight. I'll beat all your asses. I'll do fight. I know all the kicks.
Was this kind of like early in the days though, where it was still like jiu-jitsu
this is where it's fully established.
Oh man!
I think this is when we were both still into it, honestly.
Yeah, this was when it was fully established. So he's like, I know front kick, back kick, side check kick. He made up his own kick.
Side check
He
kick.
never defined what that was. He just got they come fight.
Well, obviously
he just got ankle picked and submitted.
It's like, oh, you're a boxer,
There's no
and I'm just
place.
gonna throw some wrestling.
There's just no need to waste time with that because he's still dangerous. He's a boxer with 4-ounce gloves.
That's why I would love to see like a Mayweather McGregor fight with all the rules, with UFC rules, just to see if. I feel like a lot of times it just comes down to, well, you're going to get grappled because you're not used to it, and once you get grappled, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Very entertaining.
Yeah, no. I personally love watching grappling, but of course I see where
not grappling itself is not entertaining. It's just it's not going to even if there's not going to be any exchange. It's just going to be a guy rolling over a limp body. And I'm going to learn from
Well, that's what happened in the CM Punk fight. What's his name? What's the guy who fought him? Mickey Gall. He said that. He's like, I didn't want to submit him, but like the reflex kicked in when he threw a punch and the opening was there for a takedown, and then it was just there. It was like he just couldn't help himself but go for it.
Why didn't he want to submit him?
He wanted to like knock him out and like just
make a
prove a point, but submitting him proved the point too.
Sure.
Like you've only been doing this like what, a year or two. Like obviously you're a white belt in jiu-jitsu. You might actually be a blue belt. I don't know.
I'm wondering if like one of the reasons why CM Punk did it was because Brock Lesnar did it too.
Yeah,
and wrestling
payday,
UFC, but Lesnar did it.
Lesnar was fucking beast mode though. Like
he was good.
Yeah,
I would hate getting hit by him, man.
That was ridiculous watching the UFC 200 against Silva, where he just tackled him, punched him, tackled him, punched him.
Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
No, was it Mark? No.
That was Mark Hunt.
No. I thought it was Brock Lesnar and
Mark Hunt.
Who was it? Silva against? That was DC. Was that DC?
Yeah,
it was still the same thing though. It was actually the same match. That's why I'm mixing it up.
Talk about people who don't know.
Both of them were tackling and just getting punched.
Talk about people who don't know when to quit.
Yeah, Silva's fights are so entertaining to go back and watch though.
Speaking of that, I was supposed to be talking about how I got.
We sidetracked a little bit there. Just a little bit of a tangent.
Ever so slightly. So I call up.
So the streets of Dublin.
Streets of Dublin. I was an MMA fan. Call up Tony. I read up on a site that he does classes and and there's Dustin Wares there for jiu-jitsu as well. Okay. So I call him up. Hey Tony, is Tony? Yeah. Hey, I'm Tony. I like to do some classes and I like to do some little bit of striking and some jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Come in. When can I come in next? You can come in Sunday. That's tomorrow, right? Yeah. You can come in. So then I come in.
Yeah.
I have my hands wrapped up already because I used to do some ghetto basement boxing with my family.
You came ready.
Body shot boxing. I'm like, all right. So what have you done? Tony's like, what have you done before? It's like, wait, what do you mean I haven't done anything? He's like, yeah, you have your hands wrapped. Oh yeah, I do some basement boxing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the awkward exchange stopped right there. So he's like, then we start with work some punches, arm puncher and all that stuff. So that's how we got started. You know, didn't really do any partner drills until like a few weeks in.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
So I don't even remember how many weeks it took to do partner drills, but I'm sure it was the same.
Yeah, that was about.
Either.
Yeah.
That was about early 2012. Or late 2011 or something like that.
So you've been doing it for a good while.
I was 22.
I remember you starting.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah. I walk into this gym and I see some mop-headed kid. Yep, some mop-headed kid getting boxed around by Justin. Look
at this chump.
Tony's like, get out of the corner, He's still there, and this guy's still there in the corner. You know, it turns out this little mop-headed kid was a mop-headed kid that's sitting next to me right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy thinking about how far that was, just because usually people, like, it's come and go every the last couple of months or something like that, and then you get the few that actually stay, and you just kind of
it's definitely a few.
You get a weird relationship with somebody that you let punch in the face.
Yeah.
So
that's what I always tell people with martial arts. Like, I didn't realize, like, you build such close relationships. I've never hugged people so much that have tried to punch me or choke me out.
Yeah. Let's make a point. You don't have to aggressively hug or punch people to have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, no.
But it helps, though. It helps.
For you kids out there.
It certainly adds to the relationship somehow.
You feel a little closer.
There's just a weird respect that happens when you get in a ring and punch and kick each other. I never understood that until it actually happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
Yep.
As long as it's mutual.
It's not
as long as it's mutual.
It's mutual.
It's all about consent, right? That's the whole point.
It's also not something that you can experience after like only doing it twice.
Yeah.
You gotta stick with it for a little while, and then you'll start getting it, because then you'll have the people who are just really cocky and think about just knocking your head off, and they don't really have respect for anything.
It's the same in jiu-jitsu class. You have like 20 new white belts come in every month, and then like there's the one or two that stay after 2 or 3 months. And it's like that constant rotation of learning. Like, I'm not going to really learn your name because I don't know if you're actually going to stay, and then people start to stay, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, what's your name again? Like, gotta remember your name now.
That's basically where I'm at. There's a couple.
I'm so bad at remembering names too.
Yeah, I choose not to even remember people's names just because, like
they'll go disappear.
And then when you see, like, oh, okay, this guy seems like he's actually pretty committed to it, then oh, sorry, what's your name?
I mean, cordial and nice to all of them, but it's like I can't take the mental effort to remember all these new names.
Yeah, especially when you're there for something else, you're kind of completely distracted. We had a time, man. There were like 4 or 5 Bryans in our gym. Remember that?
Yeah,
Bryans and Stevens.
Yep,
Bryans and Stevens, most common names at our gym.
Yeah, that was easier to remember.
Yeah, that we always joke about that in jiu-jitsu because there's a lot of like mats and stuff. And I was like, man, if I forget a name, I'll just throw out a mic or mat. I'll probably get it right.
Everyone's head straight.
Matt, get on the mat. What?
Wait, which one?
10 Echoes?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how people quit so soon, but then I guess I do because it is difficult. It's certainly something that's hard.
Some people get very disillusioned working basics for a very long time, and they think they're not learning anything.
Well, there's also one thing too. Like, I'll tell a couple people who get a little frustrated with it. Like, there was a time where for about a month or 2 months there for the shadow boxing thing, and like especially bag work, I wouldn't throw many punches or kicks. Like, I would try not to, and I would just work on footwork, and then I would incorporate the punches and kicks later. But I remember Justin told me to start doing that. He's like, look, I know you're not going to want to do this, but try to not throw any punches, just footwork, sliding in, sliding out, shuffling, getting out, getting in, just all that stuff. And it was, if I would not have taken that time to do it, my footwork would not be as close.
That's good, because I've started doing that on bags when I start to get a little tired. I'm like, okay, just work on doing that footwork. Like Tony talks about most people can keep like a square with their footwork, like keeping those points of the squares, work on a triangle. He's told me this.
Yeah,
working on that, I was like, man, that is kind of hard to keep.
Now realize you do not want to use footwork, or you don't want that to be the contingency. You want that to be the everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I've just recently started doing that, like thinking about my footwork as I'm doing stuff, just to work on it. But
it's such a huge part,
yeah.
too, man. It's
like Tony said, it's technically everything. Without footwork, you really don't have anything, because you're never going to be in the right position.
You kicked in the leg all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun with that. Since you do that shit to me now, that's your thing.
I'm still not used to all the kicks.
These long, gangly legs.
Yeah. I remember what Leif said to me a couple months ago. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
I remember he was like, whenever you see us sparring, it's like they're like brothers in the sense of like, oh, there they go at it again.
Yeah,
but
you guys are fun to watch spar.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel.
In fact, you're in a musical video.
Yeah,
you guys got a music video of yourselves.
Yeah, pretty cool though.
Yeah, that was actually a legit video.
That's what I did with my senior photos too. Was got some photos of me and him sparring.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that one picture? I posted on the.
I think I've seen. Yeah,
Instagram, like a kind of a 3-year difference. I think it was, but yeah, dude, not mad. We still do, but man, we'll kick the crap out of each other once we get in there. Yep. We'll start out like, okay, you want to go 50%? A minute in, we're just it gradually goes up.
That happens with Roland a lot,
as he says, gradually.
Yeah,
yeah. The first like kick or punch will be 50%, and then after that, it's just whack.
Yeah,
whack.
That's the way it is.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing about jiu-jitsu with rolling is you can go 90% all the time. But then again, most of my injuries have probably come from jiu-jitsu from doing that. So maybe it's not a great idea to always go that hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing with martial arts. That's
well, you know that.
Definitely the
what
payoff.
You know that. You let folks just go all crazy on you, and you just sit back and just be like, okay, when do I start?
Yeah. When a lot of newer people, when they start jiu-jitsu, and I was the same way, they go like 100% and like they won't let go of grips. Like they'll just try and hold you down, and they'll try and get you in a bad spot, and they'll use all this energy, and I'll just sit there with like just protecting my neck and just not do anything, like almost 0% effort, just blocking whatever they're trying to do, because they're using all this energy. And then afterwards, they're like sweating and they're like trying to catch their breath. And I look at them like, actually, I'm fine because I didn't use any energy. I didn't tap you out or anything, but you used all this energy and I did nothing. If this was an hour-long fight, who do you think would have won this fight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you would have been gassed out in 10, 15 minutes.
Well, I'm sure once they're gassed out, you could just do a sweep.
Yeah, exactly. Then now I have all the time in the world to do what I want, and they're going to be gassed out.
Because then they have all that momentum too. Going all hard on you.
Yep.
I bet I'm both into that situation.
Yeah, right? I remember when I first started going like just, I gotta grip. I gotta keep this grip. I gotta hold on to it. Like, don't let go. And now it's like you got to know exactly when to let go. You're like, okay, I've lost this. It's time to transition somewhere else.
When did you start jiu-jitsu?
Same time I started Muay Thai. Same exact time.
Really?
Yeah. It was the same week. So that was February of last year.
Okay.
So about a year and a half for both of them.
You had a couch potato revelation or something like that.
It might as well be. No, it was. I have like pretty much Joe Rogan to thank for it. Because listening to his podcast, I always skip, UFC fight, I'm not going to listen to this, I'm not going to listen to this. And then eventually I started listening to all of his podcasts, and every time he's like, talks about jiu-jitsu and the benefits, and then I remember listening to a specific podcast where he talked about, somebody asked him, if I were to start, what would you suggest? And he's like, Muay Thai for stand-up and jiu-jitsu for ground game.
Yeah.
Would be the recommended things if you're going to start anything. And I went, okay, I might as well start it. Like, I think I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and it was like just kind of feeling that like, what am I going to do?
Change.
Yeah, like I need something because I've gained all this weight. Like I was probably 40 pounds heavier than I am now, 30 to 40 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. So I had same thing. Called Tony, had that conversation, and on the phone he's like, "So what previous experience do you have?" I'm like, Nothing. I don't know. I don't know anything about martial arts. I've watched like one UFC by this time, maybe two. That's the other person I'd probably say Holly Holm was the other person that got me into it.
Really?
Watching that fight with Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey when she knocked her out.
That was a year and a half ago now?
That was like 2 years ago. That was like 2015.
Holy crap.
It was before I started, yeah. Because I saw that knockout and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I guess that was 2 years ago, because I was working at a pizza shop then, and I remember the whole hype behind Ronda Rousey, and I was just like, she's gonna lose. There's gonna be
I didn't know enough about martial arts for that, yeah.
Well, she got really into, just sucked into the whole media stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, I don't blame her. It's like, being in that situation is not exactly very easy. When everyone holds you up as like some kind of goddess, like you're untouchable.
Definitely.
And when she fell, like when she lost, and dude, she hit rock bottom. She hit hard. It looks like.
Yeah, you gotta lose.
And then she came back and lost again. And it's like, oh yeah, you might might be done.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with like Anderson Silva. Like he had his reign, and everyone thought he was the best, and then he just kind of got in situations, and now he's like, did he lose his last fight?
Yeah, it was
against
no, he had one right after that and he won. He won by decision, but it was kind of a like,
but
did he really win decision? It was one of those like, I don't know if he really won.
Everybody gets old.
Yeah.
That's
not you're a bad fighter, man, but
yep.
The fighting range is like the fighting age range is so slim. You're going to be up there for a couple of years. Everyone's going to kind of look at you as unbeatable, and then once you get beat,
that's why I have so much respect
into it, man. It can be a bad thing.
If it's like all you're known for, I think that's part of the thing. It becomes such a part of your identity. Like Anderson Silva, like that was who he was the champion. If you can't let go of that,
absolutely,
you got to be able to. Like that's why I respect Conor McGregor, because he's going to have the Mayweather fight and possibly one other fight and be done. Because he knows you only have so long to fight anyways. How is he going to beat his career if he fights Mayweather and then he fights Nate Diaz one more time? There's nothing else to do at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
everything else is going to be a lesser fight.
He's won 2 weight divisions.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's going into a boxing fight, and then after that he's going to...
I hope he fights Diaz. I don't know if he actually will, but I really hope. And people say that's his last fight. That's the last one. But then I'm like, what if he loses that last fight? But I think people would respect him so much just for having it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean that's always the kind of thing that you have to. It's always like you might lose, you might win.
Yeah.
But if he ends with that fight, that'd be a good end to his career. That'd be like a pretty sound end.
Yeah, I didn't even like Conor McGregor because I hate the cocky fighters until he lost that fight to Nate Diaz, that first one, and his response afterwards compared to Ronda Rousey's response afterwards. I was like, okay, I really got to respect this guy because he had that whole like, you're going to lose some, and you just gotta train harder, and you got to get back, and you got to fight again.
Yeah, McGregor,
that's too respectable after that.
He's a loudmouth, but dude, he's got a stupid work ethic.
Yeah.
And he's really smart, which is definitely misleading to everybody who looks at him. He just hears what he says in the press conferences, but no, he knows what he's doing.
I think that's a big fighter thing in general. Like,
that's the best thing to have. That's the best thing to have as a pro fighter. Name value and smarts.
Yeah.
Because you
have to have business smarts.
Do you know who Bob Sapp is?
Nope.
Yeah. He got screwed over.
Yeah, Bob Sapp. He made his name early on in Japan. Big, just being a big black guy in Japan. Just people on. He made his name value off of that. He was a former football player who had no idea how to fight. He was never a fighter. He was just big. They put him in K1, the premier circuit.
Oh, jeez.
Basically the premier kickboxing circuit in Japan, and he became a star, flailing at
doing ridiculous
movements. Folks like Ernesto Hoost and not sure if he ever fought Peter Ayers, but he probably didn't. He fought a lot of no-namers, but overpowered a lot of Japanese guys. Became a big star. Now many years later, he goes to like Lithuania, some other Eastern European country, India. go get in there, throw a fight, throw an MMA fight, and then get a crap ton of money.
Yep. Really? That's what he did, basically?
Yeah. And he did that at like about 11 or 10 straight losses. And from there, got a crap ton of money and retired.
And was done, yep.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but the thing with him was if you put him up against, like, Brock Lesnar, or if you put him up against Dos Santos, or Frank Mir or somebody, dude, they would kick the shit out of him. He would not last that fight.
He will tap out. But that's the thing, though. He's such a big name that
it doesn't matter.
Even though he's gonna lose.
That's what you need.
Smarts.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. That's how you get money in MMA.
Brendan Schaub talks about that a lot. I don't know if do you listen to his podcast, The Fire and the Kid?
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of them. I see it all the time on the feed from the Joe Rogan.
I really like his Big Brown Breakdown because he goes into like the business, and that dude is super smart on promoting and business smarts. Like he was talking about when he was in UFC, he hired a guy to follow him around and take photos and document everything because like you can't rely on the UFC to promote you and do all this stuff for you. So he actually had people on his team to do all that shit. And it's like he was trying to like tell fighters you should have all this stuff. You shouldn't be relying on UFC.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, because you rely on the UFC, but the UFC doesn't rely on you.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to promote you. Like they keep talking about Amanda Nunes. Been the champion, beat Ronda Rousey, still not a household name, even though she has a great story, like just sort of like Conor McGregor, like completely broke, had a bad childhood, is a lesbian. She should be like promoted so hardcore in the gay community, but nobody knows her name.
Somebody to idolize, but
yeah,
a lot of people know McGregor is because
he has a promotion team. Yeah, he knows how to do it. He knows he has business smarts. Just like Tony was saying, you have to have the business smarts to go along with it.
Everything's promotion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely not an easy life.
Yeah.
By any means.
The problem is too many people now in the UFC are just trying to copy Conor McGregor and try to shit talk. And it's like, dude.
Well, it also boosts the ratings for fights.
If it seems real, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem is too many people are doing it. Like, I don't think you know how to shit talk. Maybe you shouldn't. The thing is, Conor McGregor's good at it. You can tell he does it.
I'm going to put you in the body bag. You're going to be your worst nightmare.
One of my favorite lines from the Mayweather one was like, what do you got a school bag for? You can't read! It's like, damn!
I didn't see any
to the heart, man.
Conferences. I gotta look at those.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
There was like some really good ones, and one of them was kind of boring, but there's good moments in all of them.
I'm sure I can find a YouTube highlight video of it.
Oh yeah. That's what I would recommend is watch a highlight video of all four.
You can't read.
That's probably one of the highlights.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, he never mentioned the Mayweather having like domestic abuse things. He has like apparently a lot of charges. Yeah, I don't know, but apparently he has 3 or 4 girlfriends that he's been charged for.
Because wasn't there a thing where Rousey was like, "Oh, I want to fight him," or like that might have been something the internet made up, but like Rousey said something about she could kick his ass, and I think that was from domestic things. But she
probably fueled by TMZ.
Well, Conor McGregor never brought it up, and I guarantee you it's in the contract that during the shit talking he can't mention it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mayweather is also a very smart businessman.
That's why
going into the
money Mayweather.
He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and that's also very impressive. If he can't read that well and still be a smart businessman, that's still.
There's really plenty of people who can't read that are very street smart and business smart, savvy. It's
promotion.
Yeah. As long as you know how to market yourself, and the problem is, I guarantee you, and Brendan Shaw brought this up. There's people probably on his payroll that are probably taking a lot more money than they should from him.
Oh, come on, of course.
Yeah.
It's like his whole entourage.
Yeah. Because even Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen, who he does the podcast with, they talk about every year they go over their books, and they've had to fire people because they're like, well, this motherfucker's stealing money from me.
Yeah.
It's like every year you have to do it because there's going to be those people that are just going to try and mooch off of everything you're doing. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good time to end it.
Yeah, okay.
Peace.